his late hours at work and boozy pub lunches. They had reunited after 21 years. Tremayne had never remarried, although Jean had married another, had 2 children, and then been widowed. After a while, and without the stress of the demands on their earlier lives, they moved in together again. They had recently sealed their relationship by marrying, Jean's eldest son giving her away, the other son acting as best man. "You said a body on the phone," Clare reminded Horsley.
"There are 2. It's not often you find anything other than a few implements and the occasional piece of jewellery. You can begin to understand how excited we were. I take it you've heard of Sutton Hoo?"
"Not me," Tremayne replied. Clare was not surprised by his response. "We learnt about it at school," she said.
"It was 1939. That's when they opened Mound 1 and discovered the form of a ship. The timbers had rotted away, but it left an impression, the iron rivets still in their places. This mound's a lot older, at least 3,500 years, probably 4.
"A cold case, if they've been murdered," Tremayne said sarcastically. "I doubt there's much point in us being here, is there?"
"That's what we thought. But they didn't wear watches back in the Bronze Age."
Tremayne had seen burial mounds before. There were hundreds throughout the area. Most had either been looted soon after the deceased had been buried, or else they had been deemed of little value and left alone. Or, as in the case of Gerald Horsley and his team, they were opened up, offering a chance to search for history and knowledge of how the past inhabitants of the area lived. Poorly, Tremayne would have said, judging by the reconstructed Bronze Age village near to Stonehenge. To Tremayne, 5,000 or 1,000, even 100, made little difference. The present was for living, not dwelling in the past. "The body, how did you find it?" Clare asked. She was intrigued by the work at the site, undisturbed for millennia until Horsley and 2 of his associates arrived. "Ground-penetrating radar, the same manufacturer that the police use. For amateur use, not the heavy-duty equipment that the police have. It showed us the easier way, the direction that would minimize the damage to the site. We're not cloth-capped diehards steeped in the past. When there's a better way, we'll take it. Unfortunately, too often it's slow and tedious work." "If there's a recent body in there, how did it get there?"
"That's where you come in, sorry to say. We don't know, and we're baffled unless the man's a time traveller,"
Horsley said, smiling. Clare thought it transformed the man from eccentric to normal. Tremayne thought it was weird. "We deal in hard facts, not make-believe," Tremayne said.
"Sorry, a poor attempt at humour. Whoever the body is, it's been put there for a reason."
"You mentioned 2 bodies," Clare reminded Horsley.
"The other one's someone of importance, over 4,000 years old. Can you believe it? The burial site is not in good condition, and at first we thought it was just one body."
"Any weapons?" Clare asked.
"We've not got that far yet. We could see the original skeleton, or what was left of it. Unfortunately, the badgers have been in there. Some might see them as fairy country wildlife, but to us they're a damn nuisance."
"The second body?" Tremayne asked, more anxious to bring in the team than to debate the historical value of what had been discovered.
"As we were coming out backwards, as it's tight in there, a part of the shaft that we had constructed collapsed, and an arm came out, almost hit me in the face."
"And you believe it's not the same period as this warrior?"
"Wearing a watch?"
Horsley replied indignantly. "Yarwood, you know what to do," Tremayne said, looking over at his sergeant. Tremayne would have preferred somewhere cleaner, less muddy and more agreeable than a soggy underfoot field. Clare had donned coveralls to get a closer look at the more recent body. Tremayne had not. As far as he was concerned, a team of crime scene investigators could do that, reporting to him what they found. It was an unusual case, he'd have to admit. Gerard Horsley, well respected in Salisbury, had a reputation as eccentric. He spent his time at archaeological digs or making presentations to schools around the area on the heritage the children were part of. Not that many were interested, Tremayne was sure of that. As part of his community responsibility, he had been asked to make the occasional speech about modern policing and how the general public could assist. If it was for the pre-teens, it included the inevitable warning about people, men usually.